Hello, hello. Hashtag health, wealth, life. Today, a little mental strength tip, a little mental strength technique or a strategy, however you want to think about it. But basically, Richard Bandler said, he's the co-creator of NLP, he said, the clearer you can make it in your head, the easier you can make it in your head, the easier you will make it outside of your head. So what does he mean by that? It means that you need to be able to picture where you're going and what's going on and what you're doing, what's going to happen next, really clearly, or it's more unlikely to happen. Another way to say that is you have to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. And to break that down, you have to see it in your mind before you actually see it in real life, or you'll never see it at all. So what I found is most conversations, we talk to someone and say, what do you want? What's the perfect thing you want to happen next? And they'll run off. Their brain can really be imaginative in the opposite direction and say, well, I don't want this to happen, this, and this. You say, okay, that's the things you don't want to happen. And I don't know why, but it's really common that most of us think that way. I don't know if you're a culprit of that sometimes or a lot of the time anyway. I know I could be in the past. I'm really conscious of it for many years now, but we really allow our minds to run off in the direction that's negative. I've used this example before with my nan. We're going into a car park and she's like, there's no parking spaces. I'm like, we haven't even got in there. You can't even see the car park. And you're saying exactly what you don't want, projecting what you don't want. Another example today was one of the busiest days of my life today. I woke up, I had my son linked for 3 hours or so. Had a business meeting. That was phenomenal. I'll talk more about it another time. One of my oldest friends came round for that business meeting. Then we was working on the house with my dad, my stepdad, and just didn't stop all day. Amazing day. But why I'm talking about that is related to this training tonight, this video, is that I pictured some of the things we completed today in my head a long time ago. So some of the work we did on the house, coming up the driveway, I removed all these the beds and flowers that were growing and some crap as well, and placed it with white stones, because I saw that when I bought the house. I saw that before I see it now in real life. And that's really what we need to do with everything that we really care about. Everything that we really care about. So picture in advance, take yourself where you want to go in advance, think about it, and picture it. The easier you make it in your mind, the easier you can make it outside of your head as well and actually see it in reality. I hope that makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Any questions, pop them in the comment box, obviously. But it's a simple technique. It's a simple mental training, mental strength technique. Think about what we want. Think about the perfect outcome. What would be the perfect outcome of your day tomorrow? Take yourself through your day and think of all the things you're going to do, the meetings you're going to have, the people you're going to meet, the time you spend with your loved ones, your wife. Brett, how are you, mate? The time you spend with your wife, your kids. How's that going to go? It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be loving, connected. Whatever it is, think about it in a perfect way and run that through your brain. Run that day through your brain a few times and then go about your day. Maybe it will happen that way. Maybe it will happen somewhere similar. Maybe it won't. But you'll feel better at the time. And more likely you're projecting that onto the future rather than anything opposite. And if the universe was a Xerox machine, if the universe was a photocopy and gave you everything you wanted, if you think about it, then that's what it has to print out. So if you're thinking slightly negative, then it will print out slightly negative for you. Michael, how are you, mate? Hope you're recovering well. Hope you've been doing well. And good one for you, mate. So, think about positive thought, because you have to see it before you see it or you'll never see it. And that's a fact. We literally get what we are, what we think about. And what we are is what we think about most of the time. So we think is slightly negative. Are we think is slightly positive? Are we kind of bouncing around? Well, the more we can keep it positive, the more likely when we go into that next conversation, when we go into that next meeting, when I make that next video, you're going to have that little bit more vibe, that little bit more energy, and that little bit more focus that people say, okay, yeah, it means business, or, you're serious, or you're really happy, or you're really XYZ character, whichever one you want to create. Anyway, hope that makes sense. I've taken the angle from a few different, taken an example from a few different angles. So I hope that makes sense. Anyway, press that share button, help us get the conversation out, and let's have a chat about it. Type something in the comment box, what's gone on for you today, and have you got an example of this where you was thinking positively and actually it happened and you thought, wow, this SHIT actually works. Ginny, nice to see you. What do you say, Michael? That's good. Get the focus and relax the mind, being positive. Yeah, it's being conscious of your thoughts all the time. And that's impossible, but when you say it that way, you do it as much as possible and you get better at it as well. Yes, I'm just about to finish, Ginny. You'll have to skim back to the beginning again. But the gist is that what we said, the easier you make something in your mind, the easier you'll be able to make it outside of your mind. And another way to say that is you have to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. So you have to see it in your mind's eye before you see it in the real world, or you'll never see it. And the clearer and better and stronger, more powerful you get at doing that, the easier your life starts to happen in the way that you really enjoy it, really love it, and really want it to happen. Hope that makes sense. That was a summary. Anyway, do me a favor, type a comment in there of a summary of what you got from this, or a direct example that you have of what we're talking about today. And do me one more favor, press that share button. Press it now. Remember, happy is a skill that you can learn, and thinking specifically about how you want the next meeting, the next moment, the next day to happen, thinking specifically about how you want that to happen is a better way to bring out your personal best. Let's go get some health wealth. Let's take the world with us. I'll see you tomorrow. Have an amazing rest of the day, wherever you are.